OET Listening Part B is one of those sections that feels straightforward until you're actually in it. And then suddenly, the clock is ticking, the audio's moved on, and you're not sure which of those three very similar options is actually right. Today, we're doing a full 6-question Part B mock exactly like the real test. And then, once you've done it, we're going back through every single question together so that you can see exactly where the answer was hiding and why the other two options were designed to trick you. So, if you're ready, let's go. One quick thing before we start. OET candidates often find the listening test to be difficult, not because they can't understand English, but because they don't know what to listen for. Our free OET listening guide breaks it all down for you with strategies and examples that you can use in the exam. You can grab that from the first link in the description below this video. It's absolutely free and takes less than a minute to download. Right, let's get back to the video. Before we get into the practice, here are 3 quick things that'll actually change how you perform in this section. Tip number 1, read the question before the audio starts, not the options. You get 15 seconds, and most people spend it reading all 3 options, but that's too much information to hold in your head. Instead, read the question first so that you know what you're listening for, the purpose, the action, the attitude, and then skim the answer options to get the main idea of each one. Tip number 2, listen for the speaker's final decision, not the first thing they mention. Part B is full of audios where a plan gets suggested, then changed, or a concern gets mentioned and then resolved. The wrong answers are almost always the thing that came first. So, stay with the audio until the end. Tip number 3, don't second guess yourself if you didn't hear something clearly. In the real exam, if you're not sure, make your best guess and move on. You only have 5 seconds and there's no replay. Don't sit on question 3 and miss question 4. Write something and move forward. Okay, so now it's time to practice. You will see 4 questions, one at a time. You have 15 seconds to read, then you will listen once and have 5 seconds to answer. There will be no pausing. Are you ready? Let's go.
Before you head off to start your shift, I want to give you all a quick reminder about why we've made some changes to the nighttime procedures. We've had a few too many incidents lately where residents have gotten out of bed without assistance and ended up either unsteady or confused. Thankfully, there haven't been any serious injuries, but we're trying to reduce the chance of anything happening. So from tonight, we're trialing pressure-sensitive mats under the bedside rugs in several rooms, just for residents we've identified as higher risk. These will alert the team if someone tries to get up alone. At the same time, we're asking everyone to keep the lighting low and voices quiet during checks. We want the environment to stay calm, of course, but the real aim here is to make sure those most vulnerable are being monitored a bit more proactively. If the system works as expected, we may roll it out to more rooms. In the meantime, just keep an eye on the usual documentation and let me know if anything doesn't seem quite right.
Just a quick update on Mr. Granger's feeding routine. We've adjusted his plans slightly following this morning's session. He's been managing fairly well overall, but during lunch today, he seemed to struggle a bit more as the meal progressed. At first, we thought it was the texture of the food, but the issue wasn't consistent across meals or items. He handled softer pieces just fine, but then had difficulty even with those by the end. He remained alert and able to follow cues, so there's no concern about comprehension or understanding, but the physical coordination was clearly dropping off. We'll need to keep observing him, but in the meantime, we've recommended switching to modified consistency for now, at least until we can reassess. It's been documented on the care plan, so nursing just need to ensure he's given time and isn't left unattended. If things worsen, we may need to look into assisted feeding, but hopefully this adjustment is all that's needed for now.
I want to end by addressing the wound care policy. They've made a few adjustments recently, and some of them apply to our unit. One of the main things is that we're no longer using the iodine-based solution as a first-line option. It's still available, but only if the wound shows clear signs of infection that aren't responding to saline alone. The new guideline emphasizes minimizing tissue damage, so they're prioritizing gentler options to begin with. Some staff have expressed concern about slower healing, but the early data doesn't suggest any major issues so far. You'll still need to do full documentation of wound appearance, even if no dressing change is made. That part hasn't changed. Oh, and you might hear patients asking for the brown solution. Just explain that we're using something different now that's just as effective, but better for the skin. It might take a few shifts to get used to, but it's a small change overall.
Okay, James, so we've talked through your rotator cuff injury and how to avoid aggravating it. Like I said, anything involving lifting overhead or sudden pulling motions should be avoided for now. I know it's tempting to test your limits, especially when the pain starts to ease, but pushing too hard could set you back significantly. The exercises I've given you are specifically targeted. They'll help with strength and mobility without putting unnecessary strain on the joint. It's very important that you stick to them daily and keep a note of any pain, swelling, or changes to your movement. Also, make sure you're keeping good posture during your daily activities. Slouching or leaning can worsen the shoulder position without you realizing. Remember the posture exercises we did last week? Those should be continued alongside what we covered today. We'll review everything at your follow-up appointment next week, but your progress really depends on what you do at home in the meantime. Well done! How did you find that? Remember, in the real OET listening test, Part B has 6 audios and 6 questions. Today, we just did a mini version of that format. So now it's time to go over the questions one by one. We'll look at the transcript and I will explain what the answers were and why. So, starting with question number 1, you hear a care home manager briefing staff. What is the main purpose of the new overnight procedures? Now, when you see a question that says the main something, you need to be prepared to hear all of the options, or at least some of these options mentioned, but you're listening out for the main one. So let's take a look at what the care home manager says. We're trying to reduce the chance of anything happening. The real aim here is to make sure those most vulnerable are being monitored. Okay, so now this person does not explicitly say option A, reduce the risks of residents injuring themselves, but that is the answer because you can infer it from what they say. We're trying to reduce the chance of anything happening, so you can infer there they mean reducing any risk of people injuring themselves. And then at the bottom, the real aim here, so they're really emphasizing the main purpose of those overnight procedures. So that is why the answer is option A. Question 2. You hear a speech pathologist discussing a change to a patient's feeding plan. What factor influenced the decision to alter the plan? So we're looking for a reason here. The speech pathologist said he seemed to struggle a bit more as the meal progressed. So he was finding it more difficult the longer he was eating. Then he had difficulty even with those. So even the softer pieces by the end of the meal, he was finding it difficult. Physical coordination was clearly dropping off. That means it was declining. So here, this person is describing the patient's physical stamina. Now again, the speech pathologist does not explicitly mention the words physical stamina, but we can see that's what they're talking about because they're describing as the meal progressed, the patient found it more difficult. So the option to choose here was option B. Question 3, you hear a senior nurse updating some junior colleagues. What is the speaker's main purpose? So now we are listening for purpose. So this is going to be what the main point of this audio is. The speaker says they've made a few adjustments recently. So adjustments is another word for changes. So we can immediately think, okay, option B talks about changes. And then they go on to say the new guidance emphasizes minimizing tissue damage. So they're prioritizing gentler options to begin with. So here they're talking about why a change was made, which matches option B. And question 4, you hear a physiotherapist briefing a patient after a shoulder injury. What is the physiotherapist's main priority for the patient's recovery? So again, we've got that word main. You might hear a few of these options mentioned, but it needs to be the physiotherapist's main priority that you listen out for. So we're listening out for things like this. It's very important. That's emphasizing a priority here. It's very important that you stick to them daily. So she's talking about the exercises here and then refers to them again. The posture exercises, those should be continued. Your progress really depends on what you do at home. So here she's emphasizing the importance of the exercises. So that matches up with option C. And that's part B done. Hopefully this lesson gave you a much clearer idea of what to focus on in the OET listening test. And if you want to take it one step further, our free OET listening guide is honestly the perfect companion to this video. It pulls together the key strategies, gives you real practice examples, and helps you apply what you've just learned. It's completely free and you can download it from the first link in the description below this video. Use it, learn from it, and let me know in the comments how you get on. Drop your score out of 4 in the comments and let us know which question caught you out too, because that tells you exactly what to focus on in your next practice session. I really hope you found this session useful. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and if you're taking your OET exam soon, best of luck.